What up, Internet? We are live. Another episode of Morningwood, a very special birthday edition of Morningwood to Larry Villains, who is now officially in his mid-30s.
Great stuff. Thank God.
Welcome to the club.
Nice.
How do you feel about that?
I think I'm going to sit outside all day and wait for kids to get close to my lawn to yell at them.
This is your Oakley birthday.
Nice. I like it.
So we had not a lot of good games last night.
Yeah, I mean, these teams are taking care of business now. These teams that were expected to take care of business are starting to do it. Dame looks like he's hurt, so that changes, and Luka didn't play, so.
Yeah. We have the only good game I feel like that we had was Rockets Thunder.
Yeah. So when you're looking at the Rockets roster, when things are going great, it looks great. Like when Ben McLemore is putting up points, Austin Rivers, Jeff Green, they're all doing their thing. They're like, wow, these guys are all contributing.
Yep.
When it's not working, wow, does it feel bleak out there?
Yeah, it gets weird real quick because they don't have, without Westbrook, they don't have anybody that you want in their own shot.
No, and it's true. And on the other side of it too, like James Harden he's balling, he's doing everything he can, but he's got to win this series. He's already has enough playoff, marks on his resume where if he loses this series, he's not going to get the Westbrook excuse against this Thunder team. No, Chris Paul is making everybody around him better. James Harden's not going to get that pass.
No, I honestly, I feel like Harden is as well, but it's in a different way because it feels like everything is specifically built around him and his ability to dribble for 15 seconds and break down a defense, whereas Chris Paul is understanding what the defense is giving him and breaking it down that way. And it's two different things to watch. One of them seems more fun to play with than the other, but I mean, we've been in on the Rockets. It's not like it's not really effective. He just you look at him, 32, 15, 8 rebounds. It's not like he's not getting the job done. It's how does he push that extra step? Because these are the kind of games that he really needs to win. This 3-point game against Chris Paul. These are the games that he needs to win if he's going to get that playoff Harden reputation that he has, where people don't buy in on him. These are the games that he needs to win to prove it.
Yeah, for sure. He's got to win these games. I mean, granted, Dennis Schroeder went out and balled out. I think I like watching Dennis Schroeder the least in the league, besides for the Knicks as the entire team. Dennis Schroeder just shoots every single time he touches the ball. Like it's just every time he's jacking up a shot. So I hate watching him play, but he did what he needed to do. The shots went in last night. 30 points off the bench. That's huge.
It's a make or miss league. When he makes shots, he looks awesome. When he doesn't, he looks less awesome.
I mean, I guess you could say that about the entire Rockets bench. When it's Jeff Green, Ben McLemore, Austin Rivers, when it goes right, it looks great. When it goes bad, it looks bad.
Yeah. In the defense, I guess, of the other Rockets players, they're just shooting when they get past the ball and they're open.
Sure.
Dennis Schroeder's got no problem dribbling that ball till the air runs out before he puts a shot up.
No, he'll dribble up and take a three or four possessions in a row. No worry.
Yeah, he's all in on doing that. I guess we could just get it out of the way. It makes me sad, but we'll talk about the Dame injury. We'll get that out of the way now. Oh, my cat. It's
yeah, I mean, it sucks. His usage has been so damn high. Unfortunately, that happens. But the Lakers went and took care of business, and without Dame, if Dame's actually hurt, there's no way Portland can compete. That's not an expert analysis.
That is not an expert analysis, but our experts are giving us that analysis. It's hard enough for them to compete with Dame, so they might as well just not show up.
Right.
I'm sure they'll all play hard and whatnot. But I just hope that Dame's injury isn't bad. Like if he misses game five, that's fine. The series is probably over either way. I mean,
Yeah.
Is it possible that Dame can go out, drop 50 points if he's healthy, extend the series? Sure.
He can also drop 50 points in a loss too, though.
Yeah, 100%. There's a lot of different ways that this could go if Dame drops 50. The Blazers could stretch it to 7 if Dame and CJ both get hot. But there's not really a path for them to win this being down 3-1. So let's just get Dame out of there healthy so he's not, missing anything next season.
Yeah, give it up to the Blazers. They took care of business. They did what they had to do. They were a ton of fun, but I think it's time to write them off. LeBron showed yesterday why he is, the greatest in the league, if not one of. He's so damn good still. He makes everybody around him better, and there's like legit 4 or 5 guys in the league that do that.
Yeah. You can Luka, him, Chris Paul. It's a short list. But the Lakers bench still sucks. They just hit shots as well. And they're just too talented to do anything. Bucks took care of business. Again, I mean, the one thing that I've taken away is that, Middleton did have 21 points, but took him 19 shots. So I really want him to start playing a little bit more well, because this next series is not going to be the cakewalk that the Magic has been for the last 3 days.
No, and I need Eric Bledsoe to play better. I mean, he still has this poor reputation, so I need Eric Bledsoe to play better. He had 6 points on 3 and 11 yesterday. My takeaway from this game is, where is Aaron Gordon? Where is he?
Chilling. Focusing on his next rap video.
I just don't – is he hurt? Is there anything more? Is he still hurt?
He's got a hamstring thing.
He's not even on the injury report.
He's got a hamstring thing. Here's what I want from Eric Bledsoe. Eric Bledsoe shot 0 free throws. Eric Bledsoe is nicknamed Baby LeBron for his body. He's just a shorter LeBron. Get to the free throw line. If you're strong, you're athletic, and you're 3 for 11 from the field, go get to the free throw line. That's what this team is missing. I mean, Giannis, 2 of 6 from the free throw line. Middleton, 3 of 5 from the free throw line. George Hill, 4 for 4. He had the most free throws on the team. Eric Bledsoe should be in Corey Maggette mode, putting his head down, just hitting the hole like a running back and getting to the line.
No, I think you're 100% right. I mean, this team, you're not going to win when the Lakers are shooting 40 free throws and you're shooting 20. You don't win that way.
No. And look, Giannis is going to have games where he gets to the line 14 times.
Sure.
But he's not going to hit 12 of those free throws. So he's a better free throw shooter than Shaq was, but it's still going to be that same thing where he's going to have a night where he shoots 57% from the free throw line. It's everybody else. It's the supporting cast. It's got to be, all right, we know we're shooters. Now let's pump fake, dribble off the line, attack the hoop, and get easy points that way.
No, you're 100% right. I mean, they shot 21 free throws yesterday. You're not going to win big series with 21 free throws.
No. That series, while not over yet, probably going to be over in a couple of days. But, man, shout out to Vucevic, who's just absolutely destroying. He's one of the best players in the bubble.
Yeah, he needs to get on another team.
I was thinking, and I don't think the Magic are going to do it, because it just seems that they're out on Mo Bamba. They wasted the draft pick. They should trade him immediately.
Yeah, his value, it's got to be as high as it's going to be, especially for a center. It's hard to move centers in general. So I think it makes sense. I mean, for Vucevic's sake, it makes sense. So I would love to see it. The Magic are in a weird spot. They're in the, when you're constantly the 8th seed or fighting for the 8th seed in that area, it's the age-old argument. Is it better to be the 8th seed in the East or be the worst team in the East? It's that battle. It keeps going back and forth to how do the Magic get better? And I don't know, because again, it's going to be hoping for player development, where it's almost like if they can figure out a way to get rid of Aaron Gordon and get some assets, and get rid of Vucevic and get some assets, it might be a better option.
It could be, or maybe they just trade Aaron Gordon for somebody who fits better on their team.
Yeah,
who knows? I do know that.
But Aaron Gordon's value, there's no way Aaron Gordon's value is high right now. That's the problem.
I don't think it's high, but I think you can move him for a player around his production value, around his money, who just fits the team better. Like I don't think you're going to be able to trade him for Zion.
No,
but you could trade him probably for Buddy Hield.
Sure.
So I think that's the kind of scenario that they need to look at, and both of those teams need to balance their roster. Not saying that's a trade that they need to make, either of those teams. It's just a trade that they should probably both consider, something similar to that. Jimmy took care of business.
If you go look at the stat lines for this game, just look at pure stat lines, you think the Pacers won.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it's and that's the problem. The Pacers have 4 guys. If Malcolm Brogdon needs to put more points in, I'm including him in the 4 guys.
Yeah.
And for the contract he's getting, we need more out of you, bud.
Yeah. I mean, Dougie McBucket's the only bench point, 1 3-pointer.
Yeah. If you're relying on Doug McDermott, who's never done it before in a playoff game, barely does in the regular season, your bench is a mess.
I mean, the whole Justin Holiday is starting.
Yeah, I mean, that just shows how depleted they are. I love Justin Holiday. I think Justin Holiday's really good. He just was really good 10 years ago, too.
Another classic Nick Bull.
Doug McDermott and Justin Holiday. Maybe that's the Pacers' problem.
I actually really like Justin's brother, Aaron, who I think was starting, came off the bench, didn't have a great game yesterday. And then, like you said, you look at the stat lines, Pacers won the game because Oladipo had a game, Miles Turner had a game, Jimmy Butler, 6 points, 2 of 5 shooting, 23 minutes. You're like, oh, man, Pacers probably blew him out. But Jimmy, still +6. He's still affecting the game, even when he's not doing what he had to do. And then, bam, just even though he didn't shoot it well and was pretty inefficient, 19 boards. I mean,
yeah, no, it's crazy. And Tyler, getting this production from Tyler Hero is great. Magic, I mean, the Heat have someone new stepping up every game. It's exactly what you need. It just shows. I mean, that's the battle. Is that the Heat have 8 or 9 guys. Indiana has maybe 4 or 5.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm taking Milwaukee in the next round. I guess when it's official, we'll dive into it a little deeper.
Did you factor in that Jimmy Butler played for the Bulls before?
I did not factor that in. I should factor that in. Maybe I'm switching my vote.
I understand.
But the Heat are going to make a team that when they're struggling with their offense, it looks bad. The Bucks score a lot of points, but when their offense gets clunky, it looks bad.
Yeah, for sure.
The Heat are going to make that offense look really bad at certain times. So that is going to be pretty interesting to monitor going forward. Only 2 games tonight.
We were talking about the free throws for the Bucks. Free throws, the total free throws, not hit free throws. The total free throws for the Pacers yesterday, 11. The total free throws for the Heat yesterday, 14.
Which is
not enough.
not enough either way. But I trust Miami to get to that free throw line and knock their shots down a little more, because Jimmy's most games when he's on, he's going to get to the line 9 or 10 times by himself.
Sure.
I mean, most anticipated game of the night. Let's see what Luka follows up with.
Yeah, I mean, it's just going to be a ton of fun. I have no idea where this game's going. I can't wait to watch it, but you have no idea what's going to happen in this game, because every game to game, everything changes between these two teams. If Paul George can step it up, get his act together, the Clippers are a different team.
Yeah, and then is Porzingis going to play? He's right now. He's a game time decision. It it's hard to rely on your 20-year-old superstar to have to put up 40, 17, 13 to win a game. I mean, the fact that he pulled it off is insane, but still, like,
yeah, true. But you also,
I think it's at 34 his last game too. So it's nice to have that.
No, of course, it's hard to also rely on your 33 or 32-year-old bench guy put up 35 points in Lou Will. So it's like you need Paul George to step up. If Paul George can step up and help out the team, it's a different team.
Oh, no doubt about it. Paul George, it's been the thing. He's got double ice packs on both of his shoulders. Would he have those ice packs on his shoulders at the podium if he was winning the games? I don't know. I saw somebody, I don't remember who it was, so I apologize, but call him PG 3 for 13. I thought that nickname is incredible. He's going to have a game, though, where he does hit his shots.
It better be soon.
Yeah, it better be soon, because if it's not, maybe he won't have one of those games. But it would not shock me if he had 37 points tonight. No,
and that's what they need. He need everyone, all the number one seeds, all the higher seeds they're all turning on the quote unquote light switch. They were taking care of business the last few days. Yep. We need the Clippers. Now it's the Clippers' turn. They need to do the same to show that they're the second seed. They're playing the 7 Mavericks. It's time to step up. It's time to do what you got to do to take care of business so they can go play the Jazz or I guess Nuggets.
Yeah, and look, I love Trey Burke. Love what he's done. One of the all-time Knicks this decade. Get the ball out of Luka's hands. Trap him, and make Trey Burke and Seth Curry beat you.
And also, can we just, again, going back to the other day, it reminded me of those Bulls Heat series when Derrick Rose still had knees. The 5 minutes left in the game, LeBron was on Derrick Rose.
Yeah.
That was it. LeBron was making Derrick Rose's life miserable. 5 minutes left. LeBron is covering Derrick Rose.
Right.
He wasn't switching. LeBron's on Derrick Rose. If Kawhi's going to go cover Luka, stay there. Go fight over the screen. I really would like to see that tonight. With 5 minutes left in the game, Paul George, or I don't care if it's Paul George or Kawhi, they got to stay on Luka.
100%.
Make his life hell.
I mean, look, we've touched on it. NBA offenses, NBA players are too sophisticated to see the same defense every single time. And
it's almost like the screens to get the switches. It's almost like everybody's going through the motions. Fight through it. You have to. You have to stay on the matchup you want. You can't let the offense just call us a pick and roll with whoever has the weakest man so they can get the switch that they want. You can't let that happen. You got to fight through it. You have to get creative. Maybe you do something different with your rotations. So if you're switching, somebody else is coming over to take the switch instead of whoever is getting brought up with the screen. But something's got to change because, I mean, offenses, they look at this and they'll just take advantage of it every time. So the defense has to be the one to counter. And we've been saying that either take it, fight over the screen, go under the screen, depending on whoever the matchup is, or like blitz the screen, get the ball out of their hands, something, whatever the case is. Because again, it's not like this is switching from, it's not like Porzingis or Boban is going to set the screen and then you're stuck with a big man going onto Luka. That's not what's happening. It's a different guard, a different wing going on. It's switching between wings.
Yeah.
Fight through that.
Yeah. Fight through it. I mean, if you don't fight through it, it's Luka's he's going to murder you. And I mean, granted, so Kawhi too. Every time Kawhi, we've mentioned before, every time Kawhi dribbles the ball, I'm like, he's not fast. Every time he dribbles the ball, I'm like, well, he's not a good shooter. Every time he dribbles the ball to a spot, I'm like, he shouldn't be able to beat the man to the spot there. And he gets any shot he wants. It doesn't make sense. It never makes sense. It's the most insane thing to watch.
Yeah, no, his arms are so goddamn long when he gets
strong.
When he dribbles to that free throw line area and puts up that jumper, it literally looks like Michael Jordan in Space Jam trying to dunk on the Monstars in the end. His arms are so damn long.
It's ridiculous. Kid nostalgia. Love the avatar there. offenses have been juiced in the bubble.
Have they, or have defenses been worse?
I think probably a combination of both. I mean, offenses have definitely been.
No, offenses are great. I mean, granted, you're not traveling. You're in the same gym. Yeah. You don't get the emotion of the fans. It's a different thing for sure. So I buy you're basically playing in a practice gym. It's where they are all working and everything like that. They don't got to deal with anything else, any other surrounding situations as well as travel. But also, defenses are not. Defense still got to be better.
Yeah, I mean, look, the defensive, the scoring's about to slow down a little bit. Like Miami, Milwaukee you're not going to have 150 points like the Raptors put on the Nets. Miami just held Indiana to 87 points last night.
Yeah.
Boston, Toronto is going to be a slugfest. Are there going to be games in there where one of the teams gets hot and it's a high-scoring game? For sure. But there's also going to be two smart coaches doing really clever defensive things. So once we start advancing, it's going to be different with this high-volume, high-scoring stuff. Not to say that there won't be high scores, but there's going to be more realistic basketball scenarios that we're used to seeing, where instead of this inflated, end scores that we're seeing in the first round and we've seen through the bubble so far. Second game, last game of the night, Jazz Nuggets. Can the Jazz finish it out, or does Denver, hold on?
I mean, unfortunately, Denver needs to rely large part on Michael Porter Jr. because I don't know what else they can do.
I mean, Jokic has got to. Jokic has been good in the playoffs. He's hit big shots, he's made plays, he's done all that stuff. But last year in the playoffs, he made his mark on the game.
No, yeah, he was a monster. He needs to get there too. I mean, Jamal Murray, we need him to also. He absolutely beasted last game, but we're yet to see Jamal Murray beast 2 games in a row. Right. So can he do that again? My money's on no, but I'm willing to be proven wrong. They're another team that where, when it's going right, it looks great. When it's going poor, you're sitting there begging for Millsap to step up. That's hard to see.
I mean, the one adjustment that they made last game is that they actually played Millsap for more than 15 to 20 minutes, which I liked, because Millsap is a player who knows how to play in these games. He's been there a ton. I would like to see Millsap play big minutes again tonight, because every time Michael Porter Jr. steps on the court, they are just doing that thing. They hunt him. They're hunting him, and just going to work on him. Michael Porter Jr. much more effective in limited minutes, hoping that he gets hot and can just pour some in, change the pace of the game a little bit. But again, go down the line, they just don't have any other guards that I'm comfortable with right now without Gary Harris, without Will Barton. They have no perimeter play that you can look at and be like, so who else? Let's say Jamal Murray doesn't step up. Who's the guy? They don't have.
They don't, and they got to rely heavily on Michael Porter Jr. doing his thing, which he's still super young. It's hard. But Denver, win or lose, they're still in a great spot for next season. They have a lot of money, and they have a lot of moves to make. So they're nowhere bad spot compared to a bunch of these other teams that are struggling right now.
Yeah, they are we're one move away. And now next year,
the assets for the move.
Yeah, and next year's the time for them to cash in.
They should go all in. They got to go get Bradley Beal somehow.
Yeah, I mean, if you offered Washington Michael Porter Jr. in a Bradley Beal deal, now it's a little bit more realistic.
Yeah,
it's a little bit more realistic, and it's a move that they should easily make. Obviously, they still have to put more in the deal than that. I mean, you build it, Gary Harris, Michael Porter Jr., maybe a draft pick, maybe even throw in Bol. But now
they got to go all in. It's not collecting assets to lose each year. Isn't that fun?
No, I agree. Nostalgia, back to that point. The no noise, no pressure environment definitely benefits players like Porzingis, who usually struggle scoring in the fourth And he also agrees Denver needs to trade for Bradley Beal.
So your Porzingis point, again, as being a Knicks fan like I am, I watched a bunch of it. The problem with Porzingis, in my opinion, and always has been a problem with Porzingis, is he just gasses out. He always has been this way. I don't think it's an environment thing in that regard. I just think he gasses out. He comes from the EuroLeague where, what do they play, 22 minutes a game, compared to where now he's just been gassing out, and he's never been able to fix that. I mean, this year by far has been his best year with longevity. Granted, he's had a giant break. But that's why always first 20 games of every season that he's been healthy, he's been murdering the league. And then little by little, it fades and fades and fades, all his percentages and everything like that. So I just think he gasses out, and it's a transition that he's yet to make well enough.
Well, yeah, for sure. I mean, you remember last year or maybe 2 years ago where he started out averaging 30 points a game? And then for like the first.
Yeah, I recall.
I mean, the fact that Porzingis isn't the guy anymore will help that.
Oh, I think that's no question. I think that's where what happened is that the Knicks had to rely 100% of possessions on him, and that's not a thing anymore. So I think that's a huge help for sure. And I don't think that's no coincidence that all of a sudden this year it's been the best that it has been for him in regards to not gassing out.
Yeah, and this is coming off of a knee injury where he didn't play for so long. So I expect this Porzingis-Luka duo to continue to get really, really good, and then it's just on Dallas's front office to figure out the right pieces around them. It feels like they're on the right track. I mean,
they're on the right track. They got money coming off too. I mean, Tim Hardaway's contract coming off. That opens up a ton of cap space for them to make this team better.
For sure. We only have 2 games tonight for our best bet. What do you got?
I'm going to the Nuggets. Went out of their way to get this series, and they have done nothing but make me hate it. So I'm going to go for the Jazz. It's Jazz -3. I feel like I'm wrong here.
I really wanted to take that game, and I wanted to take Jazz -3 because it feels like there's not a lot of, like, we need to get this done on Denver's.
No, the hard part too. My only concern about the game is that you're basically betting on Donovan Mitchell going off again, which he can.
But the thing is, like, at least they have Conley, who's going to run the game. He's going to get guys in their spots.
You're going to do Jordan Clarkson like that? You're going to do Jordan Clarkson like Utah? Write that down. Hardwood Herald is not pro Jordan Clarkson. Jordan Clarkson's been killing it.
I was getting to Jordan Clarkson. Jordan Clarkson has been killing it. I think that proves, in the same fashion that it proved for J.R. Smith, that these guys who can go get buckets, when you put them on a good team, they could still go get buckets, and those buckets actually matter. And it doesn't matter the scenario. They're going to get buckets when it matters. Jordan Clarkson following in J.R. Smith's path. Gotta love that.
I did not see a J.R. Smith, Jordan Clarkson comparison coming today.
I'm going to take – I think the Clippers are going to show up tonight.
Yeah, they have to. Paul George has to show up.
It's Clippers -6.5, and Porzingis is up in the air as far as whether he's going to play or not. I'm going to take the Clippers -6.5, just assuming that Porzingis' knee, even if he does play, is not going to be 100%. He's not going to be playing 37 minutes on the knee. So I'll take Clippers -6.5. And to close out, this is something I've seen on Twitter the last week or so, and it came full circle last night. So I tweeted out earlier in the week that I love advanced stats, but I hate advanced stats Twitter.
Ooh.
Which was a popular tweet. Seems like a lot of people feel the same way, because advanced stats are awesome. But people who use advanced stats use them to avoid watching the game and understanding the context and understanding why the advanced stats mean what they mean. They'll just look at the website with the most crazy new stat named after whatever player or team and use that and be like, this guy is better than this guy sucks, whatever the case is. And that's stupid. You need to watch.
You're saying stats aren't everything?
Stats are not everything. And then last night, to bring it full circle, there are people who have no idea what using analytics mean. And they're the anti-analytics people. And I can't tell who I hate more, the anti-analytics people or the advanced stats people, because both of them suck. The anti-analytics people think that every player should be shooting a mid-range shot because DeMar DeRozan and Donovan Mitchell can go off and shoot those shots. And they'll isolate one clip of Donovan Mitchell hitting a mid-range jumper and be like, see, this is what mid-range shots do. And it's like, yeah, no smart analytics person is saying not to take that shot if you're Donovan Mitchell with 2 minutes left. That is not what that means. Analytics is not threes and layups for everybody. It is putting your players in the spots that they are the strongest and playing them to their strengths. And some of those players are the best just shooting spot-up shots and layups. It's why when Aaron Aflalo was playing in Denver as a role player, everybody thought he was this great role player because he was put in a role where he was only allowed to do certain things. And then he went to the Knicks and decided that he was the second coming of Michael Jordan. And while he put up a ton of points, he didn't affect winning. There is a middle ground on both sides. So anti-analytics people, advanced stats people, you need to come together and figure out how to both stop being wrong.
Yeah, I mean, you could argue numbers for anything. You can make numbers, support your debate, support your argument in every fashion. So numbers are not always the answer. Situation matters a ton. So, and there's a ton of variables for each number that it's just impossible to get a black and white answer, which everybody looks for. We're such a stats world right now where it's all about stats, numbers, and everything like that. It's not how it works.
It's not how it works. You use that as a tool to analyze.
If you ever played a game seriously competitively, that's not how it works.
No. But like I said, the people who do play the game, they don't want to look at the stat sheet.
No, it's because it doesn't tell the story.
But it tells some of the story. And
it tells the part.
They won't, and you can learn from it, and you can get better, and you can see where your actual spots are. You can look at the shot charts, look at the situation. You can look at all of these advanced stats thing and get better from it. But if you're only relying on it, it's not going to tell the real story. But if you don't rely on it at all, you're selling yourself short as a player because you're not going to be able to maximize the things that you're already good at and could be great at. And that's where the middle ground is. So all of these people, whether you're on the internet, whether you're real life people, because there's players and coaches that are in on this too, just both of you shut up because somehow you're both wrong.
And I can prove that analytically.
That's my rant.
I just got a text message from a number I don't know saying happy birthday, bitch. So thank you very much, whoever that is. Brett Brown fired. Brett Brown, he's fired.
Brett Brown.
I think we painted the entire 76ers year perfectly. Like we're painted the upcoming year. We looked into the future and it's playing out exactly how we lined it up in this timeline.
Yep. Things couldn't have gone better. Brett Brown, he's gonna collect his check. He gets out of that hellscape that is the Philadelphia 76ers organization. I'm sure he'll find a situation that is a lot more normal. Good for Brett Brown. If you're watching along, Larry and I recorded a podcast for my basketball podcast, Nothing But Netflix. We revisited the movie Basketball last night. That is now available on all listening platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, the whole shebang. Make sure you go check that out, like and rate. If you're watching this on live, make sure you hit the like button, retweet it out. If you're watching replay, make sure you're subscribing, rating, all that good stuff. A lot of good stuff coming out in the next few weeks, months, leading up to the draft. Just a ton of content. Make sure you check it all out. Stay with us. Until tomorrow, peace.
Steve Perry.